Oh,
Hey, Rob, we're on.
uh,
We're on.
we're on the air. I was looking for in case I had to buy a Texas Longhorn jersey
Mhm.
or a hoodie. Sad thing is, they're all in the clearance section.
Oh, Rob, we see we're already starting the show like it. It's guys,
Yes.
it's Thrive with Rob and Jason. We're here.
Everybody knows that by now. I'm Rob Patz. That is Jason Webb. This is Thrive. It must be Thursday. Yes, this is what happens when you allow people to have access to the scroll.
See,
Poor guy. He's so deluded. I think what happened, because he doesn't have hair, he was out in the sun, and it made him believe that the Broncos were actually going to have a good season this year.
oh,
That was
man.
that. Was,
I got to let this roll for people to see this. You know, it's
yes,
just
you got to give.
uh,
Yeah, it's got to give it more than a few seconds. You should have slowed the roll down. You can roll it slower. And you
mhm.
should have done the ticker slower so that people would be like, "What is this?"
See,
So yeah. By the way, just we'll start with the thing. In case you don't know, Jason and I have a little, not a bet, because that would be wrong and Christians would come after us. We have a little fun game going. Uh, that team from Texas, the Longhorns, they come up to the great state of Ohio, where, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the current national champions are the Ohio State Buckeyes. And they come to play a little game here at the Shoe this Saturday at noon.
mhm.
And you know what's so tell you how hardcore Ohio people are. My wife, we're on vacation. We're celebrating our 4th anniversary, which, by the way, is a cool story. And we'll
Yeah.
I should tell everybody about that sometime, about us finding love later in life. Neither of us had ever been married. That's a quick story. Anyway, my wife is like, "Oh shoot, we're gonna miss the Buckeye game." I said, "No problem. They're gonna win." She said, "They better, because I don't really want you buying a Texas hoodie." But I was looking in the clearance section to see if I could find an old one. So yeah, that's
I did find some Ohio State ones at the Ark just in case I needed it.
hey, that's nuts. But so tell me, how long have you been? Because I'll tell you my story. How long have you been a Texas Longhorn fan? Like, when did you start?
I actually started, I can tell you the day when my brother-in-law got married to my sister. He's from Austin, Texas. They've been married 25 years. And we just became pseudo Texas Longhorn fans from this, as they keep going back down there for his family. And yet they kept bringing shirts and hats and all these things back for us and our whole family. And it just became a family thing for us all. And so we were all Longhorn fans. It's been 25 years.
So you loved Vince Young. You were
Oh, yeah.
during.
Oh, 07. Oh, yeah.
See, Vince Young, here's the thing, and both Jason and I were quarterbacks,
Mhm.
and this is a tale of a man who had so much talent, but really, and I would debate this with anybody, he was in the wrong generation.
Oh, yeah. Completely. Mhm.
If he had been even 5 years later with Lamar Jackson and all of the way they run quarterbacks now, the guy was just huge.
Mhm. Yeah.
I stood next to him at an event, and rarely of men of our size feel small. I felt like a small man standing next to him, like, oh my word, just huge. I mean, like, incredible guy. So that's it. I will tell you, here's the funny story. Of course, I grew up and my school, of course, is University of Washington, but they suck. So I'm one of those kind of people that like immediately like jump ship. So I left Washington 4 years ago today. I moved to Ohio, which is kind of an interesting.
Happy anniversary.
I wished my wife a happy anniversary. She's like, our anniversary isn't until the 3rd. And I said, yeah, but 4 years ago, I moved here never to leave again. And but really prior to that, like, because the big game that everybody talks about with Ohio State is Ohio State and Michigan.
Mhm.
And I hate Michigan, even prior to this. I now love the state, but the college terrible. And so that was it. So I started, I think I was a pseudo Ohio State fan starting a long time ago, but came fully into the fold, fully loved by those. Like, you'll walk into a restaurant, you see somebody else with an Ohio State shirt on, you go OH, and they go IO. It's like a warm hug from a group of friends. Yeah. Now, see, and you guys, you don't even say anything to each other. You just walk around going like this. I mean, what is that?
That's all we need to do.
Are you at an Ozzy Osbourne concert? What is this?
That's all we need to do. You know, it's just we all know.
Is that because you can't really verbalize your feelings?
See, you got to go there, don't you?
So that's coming up this Saturday, and then probably in a couple of weeks, Jason will be wearing an Ohio State hoodie or T-shirt of his choice, because that's the way it's going to go. And I truly believe
that. Rob, it's going to be a good game. We're just going to say that we are the number one team, but we are the first team ever to be number one in the polls and be not favored in the first game.
But it's not a big. What is it, like 3?
It's like 2 points. It's actually going to be a very good game.
It was 2.5, I think, last night when I looked.
With us being both football fans, it's just good to watch good football.
Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting I will tell you this as a football guy, and I wanted so badly to like the UFL. You know, I watched a couple of games and it was terrible. And I mean, I'd rather watch like D3 schools play. It was NAIA schools, which, by the way, hey, shout out to the Taylor University in Indiana. They are ranked, I believe, they are the 17th ranked NAIA school. They're a Christian school. And yes, congratulations.
I thought you first, when you were going to say congratulations to Taylor, I thought it was going for the Swifties being engaged.
You know what? Actually, I'm happy for them. I mean, seriously, because at some point, then this has to ramp down the whole thing.
Yes,
this
right? It probably won't, but we hope so.
I'm praying. I really am, because and here's the funny thing is I like Travis Kelce. I think he's amazing tight end. Would we had a much better career as football players if we'd had a Travis Kelce to throw
completely.
to?
Yeah,
all my tight ends, and one of them watches this. You had hands of stone. Literally, I could have thrown it and then run in and handed it to you, and you would have still dropped it. So
funny. Oh man, yeah. My roommate was my tight end, and he was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, but definitely could have been more of a Travis Kelce type to help things out. Yeah, completely.
Oh, completely. Yeah, that was always the thing. Hey, listen, we got a great show today.
We do. Yeah, we do. Let's start bringing on some guests here, Rob. Our first guest, Anthony Tallada. He's the CEO of Evergreen Empires and founder of DivineDrive.io, an all-in-one funnel builder for kingdom entrepreneurs. He's also the author of The Ministry You've Always Wanted, a blueprint for launching impactful online ministries. With a passion for equipping coaches, pastors, and leaders, Anthony blends marketing savvy with biblical purpose to help believers share their God-given gifts and create lasting kingdom impact online. And he's a musician. We just found this out before the show.
That's it. It's really cool. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
So here, I know you're Canadian. So here's the decision you need to make right now: Ohio State or Texas this weekend.
I'm gonna have to pray about that one. I don't know.
No,
got the Bass Pro Shop. He's got to be more country. See,
one of the two of us owns the network that the show will be carried on.
Okay.
So,
I think his transmission's breaking up. I think he's losing some.
He said, "Oh, I heard the O part."
Hey. Oh, there we go,
Anthony. Man, I would love for you to start talking about your coaching journey. You know what? Let's talk about your faith journey. We just started this before the show. You just found God recently, right?
Yeah, about 2 years ago, really, is when I committed myself, I would say.
That's amazing, brother. I would love to hear that at some point on this, but just now that you've given your life over to Christ, this is incredible that you've done this, and the stuff that you're building out with everything that you're doing. I would love for you to talk about the digital space and how it opens doors for global reach, discipleship, and like income and all of these things, because this is a piece that you do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is one of the most underutilized things that is going on right now, especially like with Christians and everything. So I always say, you know, right now the enemy has hold of the whole online space. There's
Mhm.
so much darkness and so much bad stuff just out there. And we've seen how powerful marketing can be because over the past 5 years, people have gone through that, like arguably the hardest time in, you know,
Yes.
hundreds of years. And with my mind, like the way I see things, I see marketing in everything. So I'm able to see how, you know, repetitive messages and call to actions and everything can really take people into the place that, you know, the higher ups
Mhm.
want them to go.
I agree. I
So
agree.
with this, my whole inspiration around it was actually it started from just being around people at church and everything. Um, there are so many people with amazing God-given messages
Mhm.
and talents, you know, things that God has given them, and they're keeping it within their local community, which is fine. But something like that can be spread around the world using what I use, book funnels, and my signature loaf method, I like to call it. Um, and it all starts with a book.
Mhm.
So I've been doing this for my wife and her ministry.
Got the book right
Thanks.
there up on the screen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You can grab my book, The Ministry You've Always Wanted. So
Mhm.
in this book, it actually teaches you, well, why your message is so important, but it also shows you how to get it out there with a system that actually works. Like this is something 10 years ago that I wish just fell into my hands because I remember I used to say to my wife, we just need a strategy, a strategy. And this book, I would say it's probably the equivalent to like a $10,000 course.
Mhm.
I'm literally giving everything I've learned. I mean, people would have to pay thousands just to get that information.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's
A- And from what I've looked at it and checked things out, because we talk about a lot of this with Thrive with us on the show is thriving in faith, business, all of these things. We have a lot of entrepreneurs on here, and what you're doing is you're helping with the balance of purpose and profit. You
yeah,
know, building ministries and businesses that they're not mutually exclusive. So we've talked about this on the show,
yeah.
but you honor God with both of these things, and your book does this.
Yep, exactly.
Mhm.
God isn't glorified by burnout.
Yeah,
And, you know, that's one of the biggest things. Everybody has a heart. They want to put it, they want to, you know, put their gifts to work, but they don't have a way to do it. So the whole method around this book that I wrote is you start with a book. So you're basically putting your message out there and sharing your framework that you've been using to help people. Um, and then following from that, we actually use advertising and funnels
Mhm.
to get that out there. And, you know, doing this, we've sold, I think, around 20,000 books so far.
Mhm.
We've reached millions of people. It's been huge, not just for us, but also for the people we've reached.
That
So I really
that's
think more people need to do this.
Well, I would like to kind of bring things back a step on this. We talk about funnels, we talk about these things, and I know what these is, and a lot of we all know what these are. And there's a lot of our audience that does, but maybe explain what that is to the audience that maybe doesn't know what a funnel is in the
Yeah.
sales part, or just how it can work in ministry. Like, explain that process.
Definitely. So a funnel is what we use to get your message, aka your book, into the hands of many. And it's a structured way. So a funnel basically starts with, I'm going to say, an advertisement on Facebook. You see an ad and you say, oh, that looks interesting. I want to click it. So you click it. The next part of the funnel would be your website. So now you're essentially you're guiding them to a place to help them get where they want to be. So if somebody is, you know, like the ministry you've always wanted, they have a story, they have a framework, they have like a heart to teach
Mhm.
people. Um, we want to help them get to the point of spreading their message and teaching people. So the funnel is everything in between, from the time it takes to write their book to promoting it, getting it into the hands of as many people as possible. And that's kind of a funnel simplified.
I love it. No, that's exactly what I was asking on that. So that's amazing. We have a couple more minutes here. One thing I would really love for you to touch on is, for a faith-driven entrepreneur, which we have a lot of these in our audience, or a pastor listening to who feels called but overwhelmed. What's the very first step they should take to start building their ministry that they've always wanted, or their business that they've always wanted? what's that first step? I know it's going to be in your book, so I'd love for you to touch on that, and we'll finish up with that.
Yeah, sounds great. So the first step I would say is start writing a book, because when you're overwhelmed and you have all these questions and you don't know what to do, everybody says like write it down, get it out of your head, right? So writing a book, you're going to kind of experience a few things. You're going to start to see uh, how powerful the message that you actually have is. And you're going to start to see, actually, I do have a framework. I've been doing these things when people come to me with this problem. And so once you write a book, this is the first step to helping everybody like that has the issue that you can help them with. Even if you didn't market it, you could put it on Amazon. You can do what you need. And I know that writing a book, it's a daunting task. And that was one of the pushbacks I had with friends at church and everything. So in my book, I actually created an AI program using ChatGPT. It asks them a bunch of questions from the intro to every single chapter, and it helps them take all of the straight information that they have and just mend it nicely into each chapter. So it's not writing it for you. It's taking that brain dump of information, putting it together, and boom, now you have a book.
We're going to throw that right there on the screen, you guys. Check out this book right here. Go grab a copy of it. Anthony's doing some amazing things. And if you're thinking about growing a business or starting, check it out right there. Anthony, thanks for being on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Go Texas.
Even though he wouldn't tell people, his true heart was in Ohio. And that's okay. He may have private messaged me and said,
I'm going to say our next guest is for sure going to go Texas. I'm just going to say
Why is that?
I spoke to him before the show.
No. Oh, that is awesome.
Well, hey guys, our next guest, Eric Cabral, is a serial entrepreneur, podcasting expert, and founder of On Air Brands. After leaving a successful career in corporate America, he launched multiple ventures, including Mendato Investment Group and partnerships with platforms like Renault Winery. Eric now helps entrepreneurs and creatives tell their stories, grow their platforms, and turn their influence into income, all while staying grounded in faith and community. I've had the distinct pleasure of hanging out with Eric at an event in Milwaukee a few months ago, and I said, Eric, we got to get you on the show.
Yeah, brother.
So thank you for being here. And see, you're all
so
you got
Eric,
the nice up, all this stuff.
Eric, the big question before I leave: Ohio State or Texas?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I wish I could say something to please you both, but yeah, I honestly don't have an opinion. I'm not a football guy, so yeah, I'm a basketball guy.
I told you Texas. Oh, we do like basketball too.
Yeah, we
there you go. Not college hoops though. I'm a pro guy. So.
Oh really? What team?
Yeah, the Knicks. I was born and raised in New York, so
yeah, I gotta leave now.
And I'm 40 minutes from Philly now, so it's like, oh man,
it's Rob's got to go on that call.
It's Giants, it's the Birds, it's back and forth. Who knows?
I understand, brother. Well, like I said, after I saw you speak at an event in Milwaukee, I was like, I got to talk with you on what you do, everything else with On Air Brands, and bring you to the show, because we do have a lot of podcasters. We do have a lot of people that are looking to get on air. And man, you help entrepreneurs and ministry leaders do this type of stuff. But I'd love for you to touch base on On Air Branding, what it is, what you do. Let's start from there.
Yeah, brother. Just blessed to be here, man. Thanks for asking, and thanks, Rob, for bailing out here and not making me feel bad about my choices in life. But yeah, it was really not part of the plan, honestly, Jason. It was about just living my life in corporate. I was always taught, go to school, get a college degree, and earn your gold watch and set of steak knives after your 30 plus years in corporate America. That was the plan. But I really felt unfulfilled at some point. We had our first child, Veronica, who you met, and there was just something missing. There was a void. And that for me was, I need to make more money. It was like, oh, I'm not making enough money in corporate America. I want to do something bigger and better. But then also, as I was chasing that dragon, so to speak, I was slowly moving towards my faith. I had no idea what the Lord had in store for me, for sure. But I think James Clear says it best, and I wish I had some scripture that I could quote first, but this one is really relevant in that he said, when you become an entrepreneur and start a business, especially you come from corporate America, it's a different mindset. What you don't realize is it's personal development in disguise.
Mhm.
And it started to make me become something else, something better, something bigger. And through those habits and waking up early, eating right, health, exercise, all those things started to get baked into just my everyday. Faith eventually found his way. The Lord found his way into my life. And he runs everything. He's the CEO of what we do. And what we do is basically launch YouTube channels, podcasts, basically to introduce yourself and your message to the world, because people don't want to do businesses with logos and corporations. They want to do business with people. And I want to ensure that people know who you are and what your values are, what you stand for. And that's usually the very first step that we, when with our clients, we begin anything, is, hey, what do you stand for? Like, what are your values in life? What are your systems and beliefs? And then we could take the ball and run with them to produce what they need for their business or their life.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. One scripture that kind of pops to mind as you're talking about that to me, is Proverbs 1:5. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. Something that, we do as coaches, and we do as, media members here, where we talk about this stuff, being able to spread that. That's one that kind of hit me when you're going over that. So I don't remember a lot of scripture, but I had it right here in my notes, so I could pull it up really quickly because it's something I look over constantly.
Yeah.
So,
What was it? I'm going to look it up. Proverbs.
Proverbs 1:5.
1:5. Thank you for that, brother.
Yes, sir. As you're building these YouTube channels and things for people, it's incredible how many stories you get out there, right? Because our testimonies just change everything, and that's what really brings everything to the fold. Jesus taught in parables. He taught in stories on this side of it. What really got you to go into that? Like, what was the start of that?
It was a process, for sure. I didn't go in with that intention. But after producing dozens and dozens of podcasts, having hundreds, if not maybe close to 1,000 conversations, as a guest or as a host, doing what you and Rob do, we were live streaming. I started to recognize the people that were the most effective, either on stage or on camera, like in this format, were the ones that could tell stories, and in those stories were lessons that were learned versus just entertainment value. Now, if your stories could be entertaining as well as provide value and a valuable lesson, that's where I want to live. I want to be a part of that and help you identify what are those story beats, what are those lessons learned, what are those things, inspire and teach and kind of give permission to our clients. Like, it's okay to be vulnerable. A lot of them are very successful business owners, and they don't, vulnerability is a weakness, and they don't want to put that out there. But I'm like, this is where we are now. This is the marketplace. The marketplace needs and is hungry for relatability. Someone that they know, like, oh man, this is someone I can get behind because that person is me.
Well, and you stepped into faith when you left the corporate world to do this stuff. And man, I praise you for your obedience with that, and being able to help so many other ministries get out there to where more people can hear the gospel, which is what our calling is. With media, and this was something that Rob and Kristen, when they built the network, they wanted this to be, and Rob can speak on this when he jumps back on later. They wanted people to think of Christian television in a different light, and you're doing that with podcasting as well, where media is now the modern day ministry. I'd love for you to touch on that, how podcasting, branding, all of these things, because when we think of branding, we think of personal brands, and there is a piece of that, but also there's the brand of Jesus, right? So I'd really love for you to touch on the how you see media as a modern day ministry.
So the perfect example that when I recognized what you said, that media is the modern day ministry, is when I saw what Dallas Jenkins was doing with The Chosen.
Yeah.
Because that was a big piece of my journey. Because reading scripture, learning about Jesus was very intimidating for me growing up. And getting the context of what was going around in the world, around him, was hard for me to grasp. And I never really thought about it. So what happens is, let's meet people where they are. And the Lord worked in a way where it's like, hey, people are watching television, and not just television, like must-see TV television, but they're binging shows, right? And so now we see the format, we see the Lord working in ways where he's using the media in the way that it is being formatted for us to consume now. And also, that's mainstream television, but then also through YouTube, through podcasting. Those are ways to reach people and reach people in the masses. So I didn't realize this early on. I thought this was just a vehicle for us to make money. And yes, the money helps our ministry. But also, if we're able to share in long form storytelling, and we're able to little by little, week by week, share people our heart with what our heart is about, then people understand who we are, and they'll want to get behind our values. The thing is, the marketplace has changed, Jason, to the degree where people want to work with value-driven people, not just value-driven, but also value-aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that I'm working with Jason because he and I are in sync on our values, whether it's family, faith, fitness. Let's just jam, man. I don't care what I know you have 11, 12 dozen businesses. Like, I want to be a piece of some of those things because I love what you are about. And you keep sharing with your heart who you are versus creating a version of yourself. That's what a lot of people, and I want to make sure that they don't do that. Put yourself out there. Don't put a fake version of yourself that you think people want.
Exactly, right. Exactly. And I know you've actually built an impressive portfolio of businesses and creative ventures yourself. As we finish up here, about a minute or so left, I would love for you to touch on, like, what's your legacy that you hope to leave behind with your work? How do you hope it impacts the next generation of kingdom-minded entrepreneurs? It's a good, big question. So take it and run.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. And a plug here from my book, brother.
Yes.
That you mentioned, be your brand to glorify God.
You can find it right
was
there.
on my heart for many, many years, and I didn't know what to do with it. And the Lord stepped in after 3 years and said, "This is not just." The book was originally called "Be Your Brand." Now it's "Be Your Brand to Glorify God." So, yes, the link is there.
Right there.
Everything is about just glorifying and building for the kingdom. And I hope that someone's inspired to grab a copy of it. And there's also a free download there. This is the very first step we do with our clients in identifying who they are, what's their core message and their core values. And on that website, you'll find that exercise for you to do, and hopefully we'll connect.
Okay. Well, with the audience, there might be a few people that want to start a YouTube channel, a podcast. What's the first step?
Yeah, well, the first step is to reach out to me. But then also there's a ton of content on YouTube. There's a ton of content on YouTube where but the thing is, you can absorb all this information, but it's really difficult to take action. And you do need a team, and you do need somebody to inspire and hold you accountable to those things. So yeah, that's why, and where I jump in and step in and love to help.
Awesome. Well, Eric, man, it's been incredible having you on the show. I can't wait to talk more about how we're going to be doing some stuff with you with On Our Brands and some other things. So
yeah, brother,
great to have you here.
Appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you, Eric, for being with us, even if you're a New York Knicks fan. You got to vet these people better, Jason. Come on, man. Great, inspiring story. I appreciate you so much, Eric. Thanks for being with us
Rob.
today.
Thank you, guys.
Oh,
Rob, we made it another week.
Yeah, but Knicks, man, come on.
I know, it's okay. Hey, we love everybody, right? Jesus loves everybody.
Does he really?
See?
Does he?
Trust Jesus.
Yes. Hey, you didn't throw up the link for our t-shirts. We have
not.
some great gear that you can get. There you go.
You
It helps support what we're doing here at Thrive. And we do love everybody. We just know some people need more love than others. New York fans.
Well, hey guys, I can't wait for you guys to watch the game on Saturday, so you can see who's going to be wearing an opposite hoodie or t-shirt here soon.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm going to be searching the clearance bin for my Texas thing if I need to. Watch our social media because I'm sure we'll be talking about it. Hey, listen, we appreciate each and every one of you. We hope you've been refreshed during this time, had a chance in a moment to just reset for the rest of the week and go out and thrive.